Oh, yeah. They're so busy. The stuff that they eat. It's amazing. I love it. Yeah. We're not recording, we're just testing them. No, it's recording. Like, I was saying something goofy.
Do it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll do it. There's a friend. There's an email.
No.
September. That's kind of. Everyone. Another camera. No. Nope. Nope.
Yeah, he does shoot. Yeah, she usually sends. Text message.
Oh, that's. Internet? You better not. Oh, it's- It's only Wednesday that feels. Yeah, it's working for me. None of the cameras are working at all. They don't want me on.
Just flag it.
No, Shelley does her,
Yeah, it's gonna be once a month.
Yeah.
So,
well, no, but for our meetings.
for me, yeah.
Yeah, but,
Yeah.
right, and
That'd be good.
but these are very, oh, yeah, they're really so helpful. Keeps everything
And then
very
plug it
organized.
back in for the app.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, we'll see. It's just me. It's gotta reboot and do its thing, I guess. There we go.
There we go. Welcome up.
Wait, I'll keep it down. Sorry. Sorry. Can you hear us, Melinda? Thank you.
Yeah, it's much better now.
Thank you.
Since I thought I got one, something on chicken.
Whenever you're ready.
There's a bunch of turkeys in the home too, which was weird. Turkeys are all around. And I thought the whole chicken was turkey. I don't think so. But I'm there, it's just like piece on top of. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to tonight's meeting. Thank you all for coming. I received regular members Jennifer, Jolene, Christopher for Bruce, Larry, and myself. And we'll go right into consideration of minutes. Any comments or questions regarding the regular meeting minutes at 6:12? If not, can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve the regular meeting minutes of, June 12th, 2024.
All in favor?
And the site inspection report on 6/19 submitted by Jennifer. IW 2432. Any comments or questions on that one?
Nice job.
Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve the site inspection report for 55 Mount Tom Road, IW 24-32 of June 19th, 2024, submitted by Jennifer. Anthony Vogt.
Second.
All in favor? And thank you guys for doing that on that 100-degree day. That was just
We had fun.
good. Good warm walk.
In the shade.
And the next one would be for 6/19, the site inspection report for 115 River Road, for Melinda. Any comments or questions on that? Second. Can I have a motion, please?
Motion to approve the June 19th, 2024 site inspection report for 115 River Road, IW 24-31, submitted by Melinda.
All in favor? Okay, thank you. Do we have, subsequent meeting? Okay. Washington Community Housing Trust, pending applications, Bill, come on up.
The engineer had these things ready for me today. So I'll drop them off. So I'm gonna have time to look at it, but
Hopefully. So none of, we just got these as well as ourselves. So what I'm gonna do is, reschedule the site walk.
okay.
For that, we're gonna wanna look at these new plans, and then we're gonna reschedule the site walk.
Yeah, is there a problem on timing? Like in terms of?
No, you have till the next meeting. I believe it's,
These, we figured it was the 12th.
Yep.
correct?
until the 12th.
Okay, so here, you know, we basically include everything on here that you requested, hopefully. It has that, and then what we did, you know, you had mentioned, you know, putting paint on the things that we weren't gonna cut down, and one of the problems right now is, so I was up there 3 weeks ago with the contractor, and the barberry is so dense, it's like walking through barbed wire. I mean, I don't know that any of you, and the ticks are really bad. I pulled the number of ticks off them too, but what Ken did was he put on the map a proposed clearing area. And then what we did was we identified trees, you know, 14-inch shagbark tulip trees, anything that, you know, 14-inch or bigger, we're going to keep. But we really don't want to cut down, you know, any trees other than you'll see, you know, in terms of the house, you know, having a little bit of a lawn, but most of it is not going to be cleared at all. So what I was hoping was, because Ken said, look, I can't go in, you know, walk 4 acres of property that's like part wire and spray paint trees. So we had Mike Alex identify the larger trees, put them on here. And it says to remain, you're not to cut down. So ideally, if that would work, because the only way I'm gonna be able to do is put the paint on every tree that's gonna be cut down is I gotta have a contractor go in and take out all the bark, you know, and I don't know. I mean, so we're, you know, we're partnering with the town now. The town housing commission. Thanks to you, I see Jude's actually right. You know, they're giving us the money to do all this. So, you know, I don't want to put extra burden financially on the town if it's possible. You know, to find some way to deal with that. So.
Let me see how the commission feels. Does the commission feel they would like to know sidewalk, or would they just like the time to review these plans for the next meeting?
I think the time, and also, I mean, it looks like there's a limited number of substantial trees that are on the lot anyway. And I mean, we did look at it, what was it 2 months ago?
Yeah.
And it was, you could tell, I mean, it's, there's a lot of invasives and it's just really, yeah.
Yeah, so I grew up in New Preston going back 62 years ago, and when I got detention after school, I had to walk home over Baldwin Hill, and I remember this was basically pasture. I mean, there's no stone walls. It wasn't farmed there. It was, you know, and I think it was used as a woodlot too back then. But most of it is just second growth, you know, and sadly invasives. I mean, it's just taken over.
So are you, Are you getting rid of the invasives? Is that,
Yeah, the plan would be to try and get rid of as much of that in terms of at least, the living area. Up above,
to the proposed clearing limit?
Yeah.
That's noted.
right, so everything beyond that is gonna just be left the way it is.
Okay,
And and then, as the homeowner goes in, I think, I don't, I guess we could come back to you if they want to take up more stuff. But in the application to do something.
That would be the caliber tree and then the method of removing the basic would be our concern, right?
Mhm.
And then where the boundaries of like if you're using a forestry mower
Right.
or if your hand working close to the intermittent stream, then you do hand work from there.
Yeah, I mean, if you have a recommendation, in terms of, particularly the clearing along the end of the street. You could use as a guide for the contractor to say, that you can't come over and just dig this all up and, create
You
a
don't want somebody with an excavator. Right, stream, like place ripping up.
And then if you wanted to say, look, any tree over a caliper, or, whatever. So then it's something that we wouldn't, that those can't be cut.
and
unless
that
it's,
could be
in
done
the-
in our, motion of approval as
In the
conditions. So we could do that at the next meeting. So if there's any concerns now that we have, write them down on the plans. And in our motion of approval.
Do we have copies of the updated plan to distribute to all members or?
I brought 7 copies.
This one.
Is that in the
It's in your
package?
packet.
Yeah.
And then, and there's actually.
Scared.
There's
See that?
there's 2 copies of the driveway
pulled this up.
profile,
Mhm.
too, that are in there, Kevin. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just in their packet.
But I mean, if we could do something like to say, don't plant any trees that are 6 inches or bigger, that'd be great. And then, you guys are welcome to go take a walk up there, but, it's, I mean, the tips are. And it is like walking through barbed wire. It's like clothes, if you have skin. It wasn't pleasant.
Did you get those two written down right now? Caliper size of what we want to keep. And
Yeah, I mean,
the type,
whatever you say is good, but we're happy to.
and the type of the,
As long as it's not in the house, it's not in the house site. where it's
And
subdivision.
then herbicides, if you're doing cut and paint.
Right.
Which herbicide?
well, we have to be careful because we have that intermittent stream. that's
Right.
as well.
So, and that would be kind of a boundary.
Yeah, I mean, any restrictions you have on that is fine. We wanted, you're the custodians of all this and,
Right.
and you're the best people to understand what things you can and cannot do. If you're taking out invasives along the water, that you don't want to.
So we'll review the plans and we'll have our conditions. And go for next.
That would be great. I appreciate that. And I know the town will appreciate it. All right, thanks very much. We'll take it down. All right, Derek. Good to see you.
Okay.
I was just wondering. I have never been in one meeting. You request this on all the projects, but they have to
Yes,
identify all the trees.
Yes.
Okay.
we asked for a lot of information.
That's great. So I'll talk to Tammy and.
Yeah.
We'll get things coordinated. Thanks very much.
Okay, cool.
Most of it goes. Native Tammy. Like,
No, just have them written down for the next meeting.
And you can send them to me too. I'd appreciate it. Yeah.
Read about them. Not very.
I don't need anything.
Okay, Steve Park, 185 Tunnel Road, I'm gonna table that because we do not have any more information on that. That actually expires tonight.
We also received an extension. So their 35 days would be the same as the
This one,
housing
12.
trust.
Okay.
So
So,
But I've been communicating and have not received any response at all.
okay, then we'll wait till the 12th.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, we will table that one for now. Okay, Mano, 286 Litchfield Turnpike, they have asked for an
He did
extension.
ask for an extension.
Okay, did they give it to us in writing? Or-
Yes, he did.
Okay, so, Mano for 286, we'll table that for now. They have now a 35-day extension. Okay, Jim Kelly, 99 West Shore Road, come on up.
There, I have Mike Cesare with me as well. The owner. Apologies for the same-day submission. This is our Cesare's, Mike in particular. They go back and really dig into their files and get a substantial amount of information that has. And that resulted in owner's construction, I call it a narrative, he doesn't claim to be a contractor or an engineer. There's a lot of, I think, perspective information. But also, I think, very detailed information. About what basically happened, the goal that I had asked him is what happened after this on-site meeting in February. And that's really where he took it from to present day. Its present day position. And then also I submitted a memo for the list of the questions that I had written down from our site meeting that Michael was able to put together. The only thing that I recall being asked for at the site meeting, that was repeated in the site minutes, is a present day topography. The application itself, not his, but the original one that this is a follow-up to, shows the topography of that area prior to the excavation. And we have not been able to get Howard back after him yet to tell us what the present day.
I don't think any of us had enough time to read all of this, so we're just gonna take a few minutes to
That's fine.
read.
I actually said to Michael before, this will send something over 4 hours before meeting, they may very well, we have the time. I just wanted to use it as a deadline for ourselves and get it in here and just
Mhm.
do a quick explanation of it, but like I said, we still don't have that topo, if that's important to the commission, and thought you might want to review it before you decide. You're okay with the answer? One of the things that, just while you're looking at it, Michael emphasized to me and caused me to go back. I looked at the original application that started all this in 2021, and I don't think I had fully realized that in that application, there was not expected to be any excavation in this driveway area. I did not know that. Apparently it was after that application was granted. And after there was talk about on-site meetings and the right, that the overhead power lines were too close to the area for them to excavate from the existing driveway that was the plan in order to create this well. And so as I now understand it, in retrospect, there was an agreement that what needed to be done, and Mr. Lasky apparently started it without filing a start card. And so Mary Ann, the enforcement officer, saw this an earth moving and came out and there was a call. I think what I wanted to just, and so then there was a meeting with Mr. Lasky and Mr. Howland Commission, and Mr. Starry was there. But at that point, I just want to, Mr. Cesari was not in any way, shape, or form involved with this project. In other words, he was relying on his engineer and his contractor. And then after that meeting, there was additional excavation that had to be done by Mr. Lasky in order to complete the flat area that is now the parking area. That was done in the very next month. And so one of the things that the commission noted at the site visit was there was a lot of excavation that went on where you thought there was after that site meeting, and there was additional excavation, but it was under the original permit and done by Mr. Lasky. And then it was the end of March, it was a month after that site visit that he left the job, and then they couldn't get him back, and then they had a dispute over the funds of and costs of all this, because none of it was spec in the original application. So I'm assuming without knowing that as a result of that meeting, the additional excavation that Mr. Lasky had to do was discussed at that meeting, and Mr. Howland explained it had to do with this clearance that was required to drill a well under the power lines. Unfortunately, $16,000 later, that exhausted the funds of the owner just for all this excavation that was never intended. And so I just wanted to speak to the question on excavation. The only excavation done by this owner was, and it was also during, it was on or about the permit period, right at the end of it. And after it was just for the base of the wall. It's just not done. He did add material, and it's all explained in there, and compacted it and created the driveway. So I just wanted to make sure that was understood. One of the other things you asked was, is there cement in the base of the wall? The answer is no. Stone was compounded in order to create a flat surface, and very large boulders were used at the base of the wall. Michael has actually, I think, now drawn a kind of nice detail in his narrative about how that wall was constructed. There were questions about that guardrail. There were just posts there. They were dug in separate holes in front of the wall after the wall was constructed, and after it was backfilled, it was again dug, and then they were poured as, were they pressure treated?
Pressure treatment is expensive.
Yeah.
Three
Or with
bags, ready mix, so it's like 240. And I left them higher than they should be, just because I didn't want to clip them until I knew what was going to be amenable to, but those, it's not going to be a fence.
There tended to be a railing because the wall was so low to the parking level that they just created a fall. And then the other questions about more to be done, they have no intention of changing the surface material that's in that parking area and driveway now, that white stone that you saw that's compacted in place. Is not, there's no present intention to do anything, and you know that if they have to, they would need the permit. So the only thing that still has to be done is the actual fronts of that railing, and the final cut down of those posts has to occur, which doesn't involve any earth moving or dirt digging. The question about the small slope that was there under the old retaining wall that was on the lake side of the driveway. He's been planning that out, and they've been watching that, and they will put a small stone border at the base of that, but they view that as part of their yard maintenance, landscaping. They see that if there's any kind of a washout of it, they think that what they've seeded it with is growing, and they'll continue to add plants if they think it needs it. And then the final is the slope at the back of the parking area along the back retaining wall that was existing, where those temporary wood steps are. Seeded that area?
Yeah, see there's grass, and there's weeds and whatever.
Grass
else
and weeds,
stuff
but
growing.
they're not, he would like to actually hire an engineer to, under a separate application, sometime in the future when they're caught up on their finances, to design masonry steps to go up on that slope there. So there's no future activity there.
I'm just glancing, reading through some of it, and then looking at Frank Lasky's bill. What ledge was hammered out the property because I see he's got ledge. He's using.
Yeah, so this is where, when Holland and Associates and Frank were running the job in January, February 2022, they told us that the only way you can go well there, because all the well drillers. The mill driveway is a really extreme pitch. And so it was decided that we had to keep a flat area and
I'm sorry, just to
Sure.
interrupt. So, because the whole narrative, the original application, and then you're saying there were meetings, but there was never an official modification ever submitted, was there? In order to do, to cut down the driveway, because the original application along with the approval didn't include any of this lowering of grade, removal of all this material, and whether you had meetings on site with Mary Ann and Frank and Paul, there was never a modification to the original application to do all that original work, and that was part of the issue.
With the drilling
As-
of the well, because the concern was of it being so close to the wall and just behind the old retaining wall that was there. Our concern was that there was, going to be a slurry going into the lake.
Right.
And there was also to be.
that's why it's taking back excavating.
Right, but there was no modification to the original
There
application.
should have never been any change to the original approved
Yes.
plan of any kind until you came back with a modification requesting that change to happen. Right.
Completely agree.
Okay,
I think the point though for us is, we're just learning this when you do. The owner was relying on an engineer, the engineer and the contractor were in control of the site in February. And the rest of that work was completed in March. And so from the owners, all that they knew was they assumed Howland had handled. So apparently it wasn't handled in a way that looking back, the document matches, we weren't present at I wasn't present at the meeting, so I don't know what was discussed.
it never came to the commission.
It never came to commission, plus we also requested a $3,000 bond as
Right.
well.
And that never came to the commission either. That was part of the original approval.
That was part of the approval, and it was supposed to have
Never
it.
posted.
I don't know if it was ever.
Frank
posted.
said we plus bond, I don't know.
Usually. it's the
Not that
the
I'm aware
property
of,
owner.
but I can
But
find
it's not
out.
posted.
Or I'm sorry. But I ignored.
It's the bond,
That
that's with
was-
the property and the
Right.
owner of record.
None of that work was
So-
supposed to start before the bond was posted.
So one of the things that I was toying with before I knew what you just said was, do I, because I got involved in this after August of last year when the 2 years had expired. Well, there are state statutes that say these things can be extended for 15 years. So my first thought was just extend it, request that it be extended, and then modify it to make sure that we included everything in there that wasn't in the original application. And so I wrote a letter to do exactly that, and it was denied, in the office with no discussion with this commission. And I believe that I was entitled, that the owner was entitled to have that extended on the request of a letter. Now, they took issue with the fact that my request was after the permit had expired. But the law, the new law, well, they knew it's been in place since 2021, says it doesn't matter. Like the whole idea of all these enactments during COVID was to extend the periods of time that these permits can be performed. I understand that the town wants to encapsulate the period of construction, so we can do it in 2-year increments, but I think that would have been one way to do it, and instead of getting into an argument, it can't just be extended. I said, okay, I'll just file a new application for the new work. So my new application was only for the new work that I understood was done by the owners. And so maybe my application has to be extended to include all this excavation that the owner didn't do. Because when I made my application, I was under the impression that that the original application had in fact incorporated everything that was done.
No. not-
Yeah, so I'm willing to do it.
I think
whatever
what
way you want.
And I agree with that. I believe we're gonna need a modification to this application to include that or a whole new application. And the site plan that is gonna show all of this, you're gonna have to take it from the old plan and bring everything to here.
Yeah, well, the good news is the existing site plan is an existing site plan, and there's no more work left, so that can be the final proposed plan and the as-built. What I need to do is, I need to get the topo added to it, and I think I probably need to just, I'm relying on information from others that aren't really helpful anymore, mostly Mr. Lasky, and I don't blame him. I will use his bills to try and estimate the amount of work that was done and just incorporate it as being additional work from the original approval.
Into this narrative that you have provided.
Well, it's in, yes.
Right, most of it is,
It's in the narrative. It's not in the application.
right, so it'll have to be in the application.
I'm happy to do that.
Um,
Because I just learned in the last few weeks that
Right.
that original application was never modified to incorporate everything that was done
Mhm.
before we stopped.
And that was, I mean, there was not, was there ever a cease and desist issue?
no,
There wasn't.
I don't believe so.
So, and then
There
working,
was an NOV letter.
right, notice violation.
but not a cease and desist.
But not a cease and
No,
desist.
but the NOV, I think, said that we need to have a meeting and everybody has to come to Jesus and.
And then I think the work,
Right.
the work ensued, some additional work ensued, and then it came to a point of basically where you are now.
Yeah, the last time any work was done prior to that meeting where Paul Szymanski, Frank, and I think Mary Ann and I met, and I think it was March 7th of 2022. No work took place.
No, I thought we said 10 months is there.
Prior to that, we all met at the end of the work.
I thought that meeting was in February.
No,
They've been in for a long time. It wasn't.
And by the way, in all of my conversations about this, I'm not speaking ill of Mr. Lasky or Howland and Associates. This is purely a newly understood work scope that pushed outside of the owner's ability to do it. So had they known what they think they should have known at the beginning, they would have had.
So is there anything that we're missing that we're not asked that we need on the new plan? I feel we'll need to, like you said, review his bill, show out where the
Yeah, I'll do that
hammering
with,
went. And
I'll do that with Mike, and I think Mr. Lasky, if I asked him and Rick Howland would do it too. I've avoided.
that's fine. I mean, we're at that
Yeah.
point right now that we need to
Yeah.
come together on this. I do think I want a planting plan, Jim, for that steep bank. And the only reason I say that because of the grade.
The one on
The
the.
one that you and I
Lakeside
and the commission saw,
Yeah, that, the triangular area.
That's
under
correct.
that
that's,
wall.
that's quite steep.
Right, right here.
Yes.
This doesn't show the steps, but you know, to the,
Yeah.
when you're looking at the
Yeah.
steps, to the left side.
Yeah.
Yeah, to the
Um,
left side of the steps.
I'm gonna add,
Oh, yeah, down there, yeah.
We discussed it, and I said it was a
And
possibility.
maybe, and maybe if you put, right, something vegetated, like juniper, something that's really gonna hold the soil.
yeah, even if you have to put jute matting down to help hold that soil there, I mean, it's a steep grade.
Matt, if that's okay, matting would be, in the fall, we'd like to remove that ramp.
You're talking about the back, you're talking about the front.
And
That front triangle under the rope.
No, they'll,
You're talking about
they'll
the
take out the
lakeside.
topos, and I think this is better because.
Yeah.
It's actually
You're talking
clear
about
and then
this
make it
area.
clear that.
So are we gonna, ask for a modification or are we gonna want a new application? I think we can modify this plan.
Don't we wanna just modify, it so it's, there's a very clear trail of where
I
we
can-
started and how we
I can
continue.
convert this into
A modification,
an application to renew and modify the previous application, annex the old application to it and
Mhm.
use the.
right? So everything all together.
So that, yes, because I do think that information from the original application is.
It is, it is.
Okay.
Larry?
That sounds good. We're not gonna discuss what place we develop, is that correct? Place we develop.
No, we're not gonna do it next.
We can't, there is.
Not right now,
There's no plan to do well that, that. They do own the lot up behind and they're hopeful that something might come up. It's the 75-yard setback with this septic that we're trying to figure out. But it's not going yet.
So you got plenty of time. So
Thank you.
we'll see you when you can come back. Thank you. Put this all together. I think that would.
I think it's as best as, honestly.
Yeah. Come on up. Okay, we have AA Tree Service, Malone, 115 River Road for pond dredging. I think we're all pretty comfortable with that. We do have, a couple of conditions on that we, I believe, wanted on that. And I believe what we had talked about was, that it be done during the dry season. As conditional approval of July and August. And that extra material will be on site. If we get any heavy rains, extra SCE material. And, in the, site report, I believe Melinda, put in that, your anti-tracking pad will be seeded after you left.
Right.
You know, even after a day or two with this hot weather. So is everybody good with that? Okay. If we're good with that, who would like to approve it and put in those three conditions?
Motion to approve application IW-24-31 for pond dredging. Let's see. At, yes, 115 River Road by AA Tree Services for Malamed. Her plans, submitted we have a site plan which comes off of this survey. That's site. Oh, there we go. 2028 property boundary survey, yep, from Maria Taylor by T. Michael Alex with details by Lake Tree Services. You have a submitted sequence of construction. We have administrative report of 6/12/24, a site walk by 6/19/24. The permit is valid for 2 years and is subject to the following conditions. One, that the land use office be notified at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of work, so the wetlands enforcement officer can inspect and approve the erosion control measures. Two, that the property owner gives the contractor copies of both the motion of approval and approved plans prior to the commencement of work. Three, the approval of this permit is conditioned upon performance and completion of all proposed activities and or improvements in totality to the satisfaction of the Inland Wetlands Commission. There shall not be any modification of any kind to the plans and or scope, sequence of proposed activities and or improvements shown in the plans without prior approval of the Inland Wetlands Commission or its designee. Four, that the work must take place during the hopefully the dry season of July and August 2024. That there will be extra silt fencing and hay bales on site in case they are immediately needed, and any changes due to weather or site conditions that the land office will be notified. In approving this permit application.
Yeah, you got the anti-tracking.
Oh, the anti-tracking, where was it? That she had it?
It was at the end, the anti-tracking tag would be seated in topsoil left.
Okay, and the anti-tracking pad will be seated and topsoiled upon completion, upon leaving the site and completion of the work. In approving this permit application, the commission has considered all the relevant criteria pursuant to sections 11.02, 11A, and 12.02 of the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Regulations, and finds that the proposed regulated activities as presented on the plans and conditioned therein are not reasonably likely to lead to significant adverse effects on wetlands and watercourses.
All in favor? Okay, yeah. You're all
Do you
set?
have point of contact during the project?
You can contact us,
Okay.
either me or Shelley, and
All right then.
Yeah, so you want to give them your start.
and I'll send that to you
I'll
within a
probably
few
just-
days.
Yeah, I'll try to stop it.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I'll be sending a letter. I'll be emailing it. So I'll send you the start card too. Okay.
And just remember, we can't start until we check the soil.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, great. All right. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Okay, you brought 55 Mount Tom.
Yeah, I'm online.
Do you have any questions on that? On that? And, we were gonna look for a 5-year permit on that then? The Mount Tom? Okay. So I'm good if all you folks are good and don't have any other comments, questions on it. Would you like to do that one, Chris?
Not Tom.
Yeah, there we go.
Yep.
All right. Motion to approve, application IW 24-32 for trail building in a wetland, submitted by Steep Rock Association, at 55 Mount Tom Road, for reference plans, project descriptions, attachment, revised trail construction map submitted May 29th, 2024, and Sea Trail feature design submitted on the 28th of May, 2024. This permit is valid for 5 years and is subject to the following conditions. 1, that the land use office be notified at least 48 hours prior to the commencement of work, so that the wetlands enforcement officer can inspect and approve the erosion control measures. 2, that the property owner gives the contractor copies both the motion of approval and approved plans prior to the commencement of work. 3, the approval of this permit is conditioned upon the performance and completion of all proposed activities and/or improvements in totality to the satisfaction of the Inland Wetlands Commission. There shall not be any modification of any kind to the and/or scope sequence of the proposed activities and/or improvements shown on the approved plan prior to the approval of the Inland Wetlands Commission or its designee. There are no other conditions. In approving this permit application, the commission has considered all the relevant criteria pursuant to sections 11.02, 11A, and 12.08 of the Inland Wetlands and Watercourses Regulations, and finds that the proposed regulated activities as presented on the plans and conditioned herein are not reasonably likely to lead to significant adverse impacts to any wetlands and watercourses.
All in favor? Okay,
Great, thank you.
thank you very much.
Have a good one.
Okay. Keith, come on up. New applications. So we saw your map.
Yep.
And we have your list of what you would like to do.
I have a revision to that.
Right, you're gonna add, well, Addison sent you today from the building department.
So this is that same thing, that additional stuff.
Mhm.
Okay.
And I am going to ask for a couple more things on this as well. First of all, I'm gonna accept the application. That's one. Two, I'm going to schedule a site walk for this as well. But the other two items that I think are important for this is that I would like you to notify the task force and the Lake Association and CC Shelley on this and let them know what you're planning to do and if they have any concerns. And they are also welcome to attend the site walk, and I would like to have you contact Sean Hayden too. I would like Sean to attend the site walk. If it's possible, if you can.
I've already notified everybody.
Okay. Mhm.
I'll send a email to I'll send one to Sean, Mike Adamo.
Yep.
I'll send one description activity, we'll copy them now.
Yep. And send everything to Shelley.
Shelley,
Yeah, and me as well on that, and that would be great. Then where would the sand be coming from, Keith? And
I was gonna get it from the same place the town got theirs, which I'm not, I don't have the exact location yet, but it's a exact same sand that they put on their beach, they put on my beach. Figured they put it on, fine to me. Specifically, I think it's washed, light, emotional sand, it's the description that was pretty good town.
is there documentation? Do you know if you can get documentation stating that that's what it is that would have come to the beach?
I imagine if I get it from the same place the town got it, or, okay.
It was seed or something. Yeah, I would like something for that to be with the application for the file.
It could be from ONG or something like that.
Okay. So I'll get that when they deliver it.
When you order it,
I would see.
when you order it,
Yeah.
I think, or put in a
question
for it, they'll
You
let
can
you know.
request it.
Qualify it ahead of time, make sure you're getting, you're ordering and going to be getting what you expect.
So
Really
I'll
want.
call the, ask them to send me certifications.
Right, that is, good, clean.
Yeah.
How does Tuesday, we're starting with the sidewalk sound?
Do I second?
Tuesday the second, what would be a good time for everybody?
Do you want to, are you planning on doing all three of these same day?
I don't know about,
I guess it's a matter of what you can.
I think we can do. If we start at 3 o'clock, we can do 2, but we'll have to do the third one. But I actually, you know what?
Westmore Road should be the other one, right?
Yeah, you know what? Let's just hold off on that for 1 second. I'm not gonna do that. Not gonna do that. I'm gonna hold off. Let's schedule this one for 3 o'clock to start with on Tuesday the second,
Okay.
47,
7.
Yep. 47 West Shore.
Is there a better place to park there? Yes.
You can park right across from the beach. Still building.
Where sometimes the contractors park
Yeah.
in that little area,
Yeah.
on the grassy area.
One more guy, so they'll.
Yeah.
Uh,
Pass them on.
come to cable guys are there right now.
Yeah, they're pulling some new
Yeah,
wires,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. So that's why we asked the commission to leave their talking about bunch of wire.
Hey, Keith, is that under conservation easement at all or not?
The conservation easements for the buffers.
Is that on the map?
So I asked you what she's done in the past, Maria. Because it's not near this, doesn't impact that. I just asked you to write the same paragraph as shows, so that's why I did something. And she said, I'm happy to, said you know, yesterday, happy to. Don't I need to wait for after this meeting? And I said, no, my understanding is you should get it as soon as possible. I kind of expected her to email me today, but haven't come yet, so I'm gonna email her when I send the other note and say, please send me that paragraph, so you know.
So, most of the sidewalk for our next meeting is until the 12th, I believe, of July.
That is the 10th.
Or, I don't remember if it's the 10th, but
That's
that,
the Wednesday.
right, that's what, that Wednesday of that week. What is it? 10th? 10th.
It is.
Okay. It's 10th. It is, too.
You want this updated description?
It'll probably be updated once we get the rest of the information that we just requested now, and, I would wait until the site walk, because there might be, some more information.
Can I see what's on there? It's
It's just, I
different.
just put the.
No, but he said he added some.
It was
It's
just
different.
one,
I added that one line of and step 2. So
Oh, okay,
the.
all right.
what has to be done is the amount of material that they take out.
Right.
Is the amount of material that they put it, because it is considered a floodplain.
Why does the town not have to do that?
I don't know what they did or what was already gone. That was so many years ago, Keith, I can't even
It's
answer
just a
that.
couple of years ago.
Always more than that, always way more than that,
Few years.
yeah.
And I think there's something different. I forget exactly
It was
what
a
it
different
was,
plan.
but there was a difference.
I mean, what happens in that area is the wind, the dominant wind comes to my property. That's why it was a nice house originally.
Yeah.
To there. So a lot of junk and debris and leaves and everything comes to the beach. Most of the rest of it's river. And so it just kind of builds up over time and the overgrowth of grass. And in fact, there's a couple of those trees there. So I really need to, that's fine. I try to keep up with it as I go, you know, rake it and everything.
Where would the excess material go?
And, you know, I have 4 acres, lots of holes to fill in. And what I put in there, when I said, Ashley Peters, I'll put it in non-regulated, like plenty of acreage to fill in those spots.
Invasive trees you just mentioned?
You know, I didn't put it in there. I'm pretty sure that there are 2 olive leaf, I think they're called.
Autumn olives?
Yeah.
They're by the stone wall. Usually the stone wall is on the road, it's all beach. Then over time, some of these trees have grown up. I'm pretty sure 2 of them are invasive. So
Okay, everything that you're going to do.
I wasn't gonna touch them now, but if
Right.
you want me to add it.
I think if you're gonna do it, I would say add it, just,
Mhm.
but you don't have to.
I mean, if it's easy to do, I'm happy to do it at the same time.
If you want to do it, I would put it on the plan.
It's easy.
Yeah, it's easier to do it now, Keith.
Then it would be a whole new application to remove
Yeah.
after you've completed.
I'll add those as well. Generally dig those out and just cut them down and keep them down.
Well, we'd probably just like to cut them flush, you know, without removing much more.
Yeah.
And we have the soil there and such. That makes it like I wouldn't.
Not that close to the limit.
Depend on the conditions, because maybe you could dig down without disturbing.
They're both right at the wall, so I'll probably just take them down as much.
Will the disturbed roots disturb the wall if you dig them out?
Yeah,
I'll just take it up.
So we'll see you Tuesday at 3 o'clock. Good. Okay, very good. Thank you, Keith. Jim, how are you?
Been a while. We've been hiding.
Good evening, it's Jimmy Ty, if you're ready. One second.
Doing that one first. Wait, what's on the agenda?
Which one do you have?
We have West Morris Road, West next.
West Morris.
West Morris, yep.
Good evening. I, Parker Howland Associates, representing Hampton River LLC, 166 and 176 West Morris Road, Washington, Connecticut. And here, this project involves construction of a bridge, house addition, and wetland restoration. Other improvements also include this project for the resurfacing of the existing driveway, drainage, removal, grading, and other related practices. Here, the zoning location survey map of the property. And this here is the site plan. And we're coming in here on the driveway and see if it's being replaced. Here. Restoration, we're trying to limit the restoration boundary on both sides. And then they're doing a small addition onto the residence here. And they proposed.
Okay. The addition is in the regulated area and the garage.
Garage is outside,
outside.
the addition straddles the regulated 100 foot up in the rear.
Mhm. And there's a bridge there now,
Yes.
and it is made of. So it says proposed granite stone slab. A bridge.
Decking. An existing driveway, an existing gravel driveway is replacing it with a blue line bridge. Cross the road.
Mhm.
Detail.
Still on SEF 24. The elevator.
Mhm. Yep.
Very helpful.
Wetland restoration, is that going to be a basic removal and? Well, it's on the plan, it says wetland restoration. So, I need to know what are we going to be restoring?
Restoration area to enhance.
What number is that?
Construction notes, sequence for construction of the boat bridge.
Planting,
I don't know if
okay, is there a planting plan? To be
there
replanted?
is on here.
bridge and planted with wet mixed seed. At one time, the 2,500 square feet covered with a like, of deep. So the wetlands, the work is in the upland review area. This bridge is in the upland review area. And the wetland restoration area is in the upland area. No actual activity in the wetlands themselves.
The bridge doesn't go through the wetland? Or is-
No, so there's wetlands here.
It's in the review area.
Right,
There's
okay,
wetlands
yeah.
here. And there's wetlands here. So the existing driveway and the new bridge are both in the upland review area.
So everything that's
If it's
in,
not, if it's,
no, go ahead.
it's just, if it's, if there must be a wet, there must
There
be
is.
flow, I mean, the bridge has to
Yeah,
be
there's a-
in a wetland, I mean.
There is
the
a
bridge-
drainage, of flow in this area here, hence the need for the elevated bridge on Mobile.
Okay,
Right, so the swamp area is a wetlands.
yeah,
Okay, so everything in the blue area is going to be seeded with the wetland mixing?
Yes,
That's the boundary?
yes.
You can get out there, it'll be helpful, just get eyes on it.
Well, I guess what we're gonna ask for, I see that there's trees to be cut. I have the trees marked, number 7 says cut trees within the clearing limit.
There are no true,
Okay, but it's on
correct.
the plan. That shows, so no trees are to be cut?
They're not showing any trees to be cut. I will clarify part of the site.
Okay,
and then you should also clarify number 8, if that's the case, because there won't be any steps to excavate,
so,
so probably go through your details. Is there anything about marks, I mean, should there, and is it, when we go, is it going to be to understand the lay of land, so to speak?
Yeah.
And where everything is, so you'll be able to point out, so we don't need anything really staked, it's not clear.
It's fun.
Okay,
do you have a soil stockpile area for when you're stripping the land? It's on the plan. Number 9 says strip off topsoil.
Yeah, that's a standard. Clarify that as well. Right now, there's no plan for a stock.
We'll need that clarified as well. And also then number 10, if you're gonna, with the cuts and fills, correct?
Mhm.
It's so de minimis. Placing these large grants down and stuff.
we have, it's, where are the steps?
Are you understanding the bridge?
So-
Beginning to side.
So with the sizes, the thicknesses of these, I mean, I could probably scale it, but can those be indicated generally? And so the thickness then will determine the amount of excavation and the prep, because you're gonna have to have the gravel.
We're showing you here in the cross section.
Right.
I can estimate that.
Okay,
Is there any excavation has to go in with those support pieces or?
The hill coils?
Driven into the ground.
and the corkscrews.
Yeah,
The driveway screw into that.
Yeah,
it's a matter of just then the equipment
And if we get
that will be
legs,
used. Like that would just be the equipment we would need to, like, know what equipment's being used to do that.
I will accept this application tonight and we will schedule a site walk immediately following 47 West Shore. I imagine we'll probably spend about almost 45 minutes.
What date is that?
Tuesday the 2nd. So we're gonna hope for, try to be to you by 4 o'clock.
Yeah.
176 West March. Okay. Thank you, Jim, on this one. And give us a minute and we'll go right to the next. Anybody else have any questions now for Jim?
Okay, thank you. What is, wait a minute, the house addition, there's an addition going on, so there's gonna be a substantial amount of I mean, what kind of foundation are they putting?
I don't know. I'll give this answer.
Okay. Cause now we were so focusing on the bridge,
Yeah.
there is. no addition.
There's gotta be a soil slab.
Right.
Okay, so that might change those other questions. Okay.
Well, we're so focused on the bridge
The
and
wetlands.
and the wetlands, and
wetlands.
it's like, oh, wait a minute. And if there's gonna be any footing drains and, right? For those who don't know. That way. You know more. Alright,
Okay, so on this particular one here, I'll accept this application tonight for 37 Apple Swamp Road for proposed subdivision. I'll accept the application and it's gonna be pending the approval from the planning commission because you don't have planning yet. So go ahead and tell us what you'd like to do, and I'm not gonna schedule a site walk on this until we have planning.
Right. Okay, so again, Jimmy Time for our home associates representing the insurer. Oh, 5 lots, subdivision. Property 119 and 3 acres.
Can you please point out the wetlands on that property?
So there are wetlands here. Wetlands and the stream, wetlands, stream, another, for the wetlands here. More wetlands over here. And then a water swamp. That's wetlands. Wetlands, wetlands, wetlands. Wetlands. See, up in the area, it's noted here. All the way around. Here. So, this would be 5 lots. Lot 1, 1 unit, 13.449 acres, lot 2, 1.240 dwelling units, 7.5 acres. Lot 3, 24.86 acres, 2.62 dwelling units. Lot 4, 9.35 acres, 2.23 dwelling units. Lot 5, 64.502 acres.
I'm sorry, when you say the dwelling units, what is that?
Yeah, I don't know. Oh, didn't want to say something.
No.
Yeah.
I'm a little, I'm confused, what does that mean?
I'm gonna have to find out myself. Because I haven't done a subdivision in Washington.
Do you know them, do you have any?
I know.
It's probably based on the soil type. I think it'll walk through this a little bit further. I think the information.
Yeah, no, it's not, that's one.
Factor of the PG regulations.
All right, so,
It's a form that they've created that was out.
For lot density?
It's only gonna be one house.
yeah, it just sounds really,
It does sound strange. Sounds strange to me.
Okay.
So here we have a subdivision. It's soil based, and that's where that number is probably coming in. Yellow lines show you all the different soil boundaries. Here we have, subdivision number 2. And so here we have the actual building locations. So, one. House.
like done all this stuff testing?
And that's what I was just gonna,
All over the place.
So they have completed it.
yeah, so we have those, that's what I was just gonna ask. Do we have the, soil samples in the file?
I think.
We have the soil scientist report.
So what I don't understand, if there's activity within an upland review area, like for soil testing, you need, you're disturbing the soil, how do you not need a wetland permit even to do soil testing? I mean,
Okay,
I'm not like you didn't
No,
know,
I mean,
it's like,
that's property under your own.
You see that?
That's all. All signs.
This, and that's the same thing.
I know, except if you're within a
But the
wetland.
material
is not-
You don't believe
Yeah.
You wouldn't do
dig in the wetlands, but you might be in.
So we're gonna have to get this-
Yeah.
It's a very discreet.
Right,
digging, with a small-
right.
So this is, this is not for this one.
No,
This is not for this. This is the plan for the one we just did.
right. You would get them electronic as well, so we didn't really. So what's happening, Jim, is that when Heather put the packets together to bring to us, she must have intertwined them.
Okay.
But all we have is information, like the plans are correct for the property.
Yeah.
But the application that she submits with us
Okay.
is, it's for 176, both information packets are for 176 West
Oh.
Morris.
I have a copy here.
Okay, she can just, it might have just been, she grabbed it quick and ran out with it because she was doing a lot trying to get on time. So, we have the application in our system. I'll double check it
Okay.
tomorrow and then she can bring it to me. I can send it to you guys. Yeah.
The other thing, was the plan, the method to notify of-
Yes,
Okay.
he just, yeah,
What is that?
Yeah,
because it's on the line.
it's on the line.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
At the bottom.
We noticed, yeah, the town line here, and this is New Milford, and, we have notified them.
Yeah, any work within 500 feet of the town has to be notified.
Okay, yeah, we read it
Yeah.
on West Forest Road. And, yeah, okay, yep.
To kind of keep the overall subdivision plan, lot 1 is gonna, with a house site here. Lot 2 with a house site here. Lot 3. And the house, main garage here was septic here. Lot 4 is the main house here, was septic here. So that was lot 4 is over here.
Is any of the property going to go into conservation?
What's that? Open space conservation, right?
Answer that.
Can't do anything until we,
Yeah.
individual plans and until planning commission accepts it. So we're in the really early preliminary stages right as of now.
Okay.
And that's why I said I'll accept the application pending the approval, and then I'm sure Jim's gonna be coming back for us. Go ahead, Jim, I'll let you continue.
So, kind of getting developments here. one. So again, you can see, a potential house site with septic and here's the upland review area. So minor intrusion into further development from us. And the driveway is directly off the Papa's farm. This is lot number 2. With the driveway coming in directly off of Papa's Farm Road. And the septic is just going to be here inside the upland review area. And most of the activities outside the upland review area. Lot number 3. So coming in off the road here. The driveway, the house, and the garage, and the septic over here. Slight intrusion. This will be the driveway that feeds to lot number 5. Right. Lot number 4. So down, and we have the house. Full house and septic.
Where does that driveway come down from?
Let's see.
Popple Swap, or is that the right of way?
Lot number 4. It comes in off of Upper Churchill Road,
Okay,
and then it comes down through here and feeds it.
so the whole parcel is accessible from Popple Swap in Upper Churchill Lane?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, the church is here and Papa Swamp is here. And then we actually go down to Churchill Road here for the fee strip as well too. Lot number 5 is the one in the middle here. And we have, potential house site, garage, pool. Well outside the upland review area. Slight intrusion here for the septic.
Mhm. Everybody good for now? Yeah, okay. Okay, so we're good with that, and that's where we stand right now with that. Good.
All right, thank you for your
All right,
time.
Jim, thank you very much, and I'm sure you'll get the information squared away there.
All right, good to see you all.
Thank you, yep.
It's not the, it's on the other side, crossing from the photos. Right. It's that big field that is for sale.
Okay. Okay, any other business?
Communication to them.
I signed that, I signed it and.
Yep, so it should be.
Okay,
That would be-
yep, okay.
Yep.
We have no administrative business, just the communications, for, lawyers' fees, we had that.
A big
Correspondence.
$141.
Yep. And, that's that.
Yeah.
So, we'll get our enforcement report later, and if everybody's good, I have a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Don't let Melinda go.
Okay, hold on one second, Melinda.
Okay.
Hold on one second.